With profound, humble gratitude and love to all venerated enlightened masters, we bow to the Almighty in soulful gratefulness for gifting us with their holy blessed presence. May all beings be awakened by their divine grace.
Part 1 of 4.
Etc.
Be vegan, make peace, do good deeds, heaven Godspeed.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Every baptized Christian promises to renounce sin and to give themselves completely, without compromise, to Christ, in order that they may save their soul, enter into the mystery of God, and there find themselves perfectly in the light of Christ. Please continue watching for insights on the spiritual life by the Reverend Thomas Merton, vegetarian.
Give an apple and a rabbit to your kid. If he plays with the apple and kills the rabbit, give me a call. Jean-Philippe Cyr, vegan.
Slovakia's amazing caves are a sight to behold, making it a unique holiday destination. When visiting, try greeting the friendly locals with "Ako sa máš," which means "How are you?" in Slovak. I'm Josef. The noble Slovakians work hard to make this world a better place for all and join you in the earth-saving vegan lifestyle. May world vegan, world peace soon become a reality. Welcome to Into the Light from Life and Holiness by the Reverend Thomas Merton, vegetarian, Part 1 of 2 on Words of Wisdom. The Reverend Thomas Merton, vegetarian, an important Catholic mystic and spiritual thinker, was born in 1915 to an American mother and a New Zealand father. The many life situations he encountered in his youth led him to explore religion and spirituality, and eventually to devote his life to God by becoming a monk and later a deacon at the Abbey of Gethsemane, a part of the Order of Trappists in Kentucky, USA. He also enjoyed living alone in a hermitage in the monastery's wilderness area. During his monastic life, Thomas Merton, vegetarian, developed his writing talent by translating religious texts and writing biographies. He also penned poetry as well as books and articles on topics ranging from spirituality to social justice and peace. One of Reverend Merton's most famous statements was, "For me to be a saint means to be myself." Therefore, the problem of sanctity and salvation is in fact the problem of finding out who I am and of discovering my true self. He also said, "We are living in a world that is absolutely transparent, and God is shining through it all the time. This is not just a nice story or a fable, it is true." Believing in the equality of all religions, Reverend Merton, vegetarian, became deeply interested in Eastern traditions in the later years of his life. He also held lively discourses with His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. Today, the life and works of the wise Reverend are still studied at the Thomas Merton Center in Kentucky, USA, and the International Thomas Merton Society. Today we will present selections from Thomas Merton's book Life and Holiness, where the wise Reverend tells us that not only monks and nuns, but lay people should also strive for progress in Christian holiness. Chapter 1: Christian Ideals, Called Out of Darkness. Every baptized Christian is obliged by his baptismal promises to renounce sin and to give themselves completely, without compromise, to Christ, in order that they may fulfill their vocation, save their soul, enter into the mystery of God, and there find themselves perfectly in the light of Christ. As St. Paul reminds us, 1 Corinthians 6:19, we are not our own. We belong entirely to Christ. His Spirit has taken possession of us at baptism. We are the temples of the Holy Spirit. Our thoughts, our actions, our desires are by rights more His than our own. But we have to struggle to ensure that God always receives from us what we owe Him by right. If we do not labor to overcome our natural weakness, our disordered and selfish passions, what belongs to God in us will be withdrawn from the sanctifying power of His love, and will be corrupted by selfishness, blinded by irrational desire, hardened by pride, and will eventually plunge into the abyss of moral non-entity which is called sin. Sin is the refusal of spiritual life, the rejection of the inner order and peace that comes from our union with the divine will. In a word, sin is the refusal of God's will and of His love. It is not only a refusal to do this or that thing willed by God, or a determination to do what He forbids. It is more radically a refusal to be what we are, a rejection of our mysterious, contingent, spiritual reality hidden in the very mystery of God. Sin is our refusal to be what we were created to be, children of God, images of God. Ultimately, sin, while seeming to be an assertion of freedom, is a flight from the freedom and the responsibility of divine sonship. Every Christian is therefore called to sanctity and union with Christ by keeping the commandments of God. Some, however, with special vocations, have contracted a more solemn obligation by religious vows, and have bound themselves to take the basic Christian vocation to holiness especially seriously. They have promised to make use of certain definite and more efficacious means to be perfect, the evangelical counsels. They obligate themselves to be poor, chaste, and obedient, thereby renouncing their own wills, denying themselves, and liberating themselves from mundane attachments in order to give themselves even more perfectly to Christ. For them, sanctity is not simply something that is sought as an ultimate end. Sanctity is their profession. They have no other job in life than to be saints, and everything is subordinated to this end, which is primary and immediate for them. Nevertheless, the fact that religious and clerics have a professional obligation to strive for holiness must be properly understood. It does not imply that they alone are fully Christians, as if the laity were in some sense less truly Christian and less fully members of Christ than they. Saint John Chrysostom, who in his youth came close to believing that one could not be saved unless he fled to the desert, recognized in later life as Bishop of Antioch and then of Constantinople that all the members of Christ are called to holiness by the very fact that they are His members. there is only one morality, one holiness for the Christian, that proposed to all in the Gospels. The lay state is necessarily good and holy, since the New Testament leaves us free to choose it, nor is the lay state one in which it is sufficient to maintain a kind of static and minimal holiness, simply by avoiding sin. Sometimes the difference between the states of life is so distorted and oversimplified in the minds of Christians that they seem to think that while priests, monks and nuns are obliged to grow and make progress in perfection, the layperson is expected only to keep in the state of grace, and by clinging, as it were, to the cassock of the priests, to let himself be drawn into heaven by specialists who alone are called to perfection. Saint John Chrysostom points out that the mere fact that the life of the monk is more austere and more difficult should not make us think that Christian holiness is principally a matter of difficulty. This would lead to the false conclusion that because salvation seems less arduous for the lay person, it is also in some strange way less truly salvation. On the contrary, says Chrysostom, God has not treated us, lay people and secular clergy, with such severity as to demand of us monastic austerities as a matter of duty. He has left to all a free choice in the matter of his counsels. One must be chaste in marriage, one must be temperate in meals. You are not ordered to renounce your possessions. God only commands you not to steal and to share your property with those who lack what they need. For more information about Thomas Merton, vegetarian, please visit merton.org.
Whether you win or you lose, making war, forcing people to partake in war, or having to defend themselves is a great sin that will award you great punishment in hell.
Compassionate viewers, thank you for watching today's Words of Wisdom. Please join us tomorrow for part 2 of this program. Coming up next is Food Crops at Risk of Extinction Due to Global Warming, part 1 of 2, right after noteworthy news. May the celestial light and melodies bring you serenity always.
Be vegan. Make peace. Do good deeds. Hell not reach.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule et suprememastertv.com/WOW.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visiten suprememastertv.com/schedule y suprememastertv.com/WOW.
ਸਾਡੇ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਪੇਸ਼ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ ਅਨੇਕ ਭਾਸ਼ਾਵਾਂ। ਕਿਰਪਾ ਦੇਖੋ suprememastertv.com/schedule ਅਤੇ suprememastertv.com/WOW